Look, if you felt like you were drowning in a chaotic sea of random map icons during the last game's Mexican vacation, you definitely weren't alone. That overwhelming, aimless sandbox approach is finally gone, and honestly, it's about time. By bringing back the old school colored bracelet ranking format and dropping us directly into the neon soaked streets of Japan, Playground Games is finally pulling this massive racing franchise back to its beloved roots. Welcome back to the channel, Gearheads. Today we are diving deep into Forza Horizon 6, the newest massive driving playground built for PC and Xbox Series X and S, with a highly anticipated PlayStation 5 release coming later this year. We are finally leaving behind the dust of past festivals to tear up the asphalt in a brand new Eastern Hemisphere location. And the hype surrounding this specific destination is entirely justified. You're getting an incredibly diverse map here. I spent absolutely countless hours just bouncing between gridlocked Tokyo avenues, terrifyingly narrow mountain switchbacks, and quiet countryside loops that feel like they were pulled straight out of a postcard. The decision to move the Horizon Festival to Japan has been requested by the community for the better part of a decade, and seeing it finally realized with this level of graphical fidelity is genuinely breathtaking. Let's talk about the city itself. Tokyo is dense. We haven't had a cityscape this intricate since Surfer's Paradise in Horizon 3, but this makes that look like a remote village. The neon lights reflecting off the wet pavement at night, the narrow alleys that demand absolute precision, and the massive multi-level highways creating the ultimate playground for top-speed hypercar runs. But it's not all just concrete and glowing billboards. When you escape the city limits, the map opens up into sprawling cherry blossom forests, ancient shrines sitting perfectly adjacent to the tarmac, and those legendary winding touge passes. These mountain roads are a drifter's absolute paradise. The elevation changes are staggering, and the switchbacks are so tight that you'll be constantly feathering the clutch and handbrake just to survive the descent. Here's the thing about the core gameplay loop this time around. Structure is undeniably king again. You're working your way up the ladder by earning those coveted colored wristbands, a progression format that instantly transported me back to the 2012 original game. Instead of just handing you 3 hypercars in the first 20 minutes and patting you on the back, Horizon 6 makes you actually earn your garage. You start at the absolute bottom with a modest C-Class hot hatch, battling it out in low-stakes amateur sprint races in the rural outskirts of the map. Every single victory means something now. When you finally earn enough reputation to unlock that shiny blue wristband and gain access to faster cars and the inner city circuits, you feel a profound sense of accomplishment. The map doesn't vomit 100 event icons at you all at once. Events are carefully curated based on your current wristband tier, which creates a beautifully paced campaign that keeps you hooked for hours on end. To climb those ranks, you'll need to master an entirely revamped driving model. Playground Games hasn't just copy-pasted the physics engine from the last iteration, they've substantially reworked the tire grip dynamics, suspension travel, and weight transfer. Cars feel heavier and more grounded. When you throw a heavy all-wheel drive sedan into a corner, you actually feel the chassis struggling against the lateral G-forces before the tires inevitably break traction. This translates to a driving experience that straddles the line between accessible arcade fun and demanding sim-like mechanics better than any previous Horizon title. And because we are in the birthplace of drifting, the drift mechanics have received a massive overhaul. Holding a sustained slide requires significantly more throttle control and counter-steering finesse. Gone are the days of just mashing the gas and letting the assists do the work. If you want to link corners on Mount Haruna, you need to understand momentum and gear ratios. Adding to the challenge is the return of a highly dynamic weather system and rotating seasons, but they've been dialed up to 11. During the monsoon season, the torrential downpours dramatically alter the handling characteristics of every vehicle. Hitting a massive puddle at 200 miles per hour will cause immediate hydroplaning. Then you have the winter months where the northern mountain regions become blanketed in thick, treacherous snow, completely changing the dynamic of your favorite grip racing circuits. The environmental diversity keeps the gameplay loop incredibly fresh, forcing you to constantly adapt your driving style and, more importantly, your vehicle setup. Speaking of setups, let's dive into the garage. The car roster at launch boasts over 550 meticulously detailed vehicles, but the real star of the show here is the local talent. The selection of JDM legends is staggering. Every obscure Nissan Silvia variant, every generation of the Mazda RX-7, and deep cuts from 90s Honda tuning culture are perfectly represented here. And customization has finally received the upgrade we've been begging for. The aero options are completely off the charts, featuring officially licensed body kits from Liberty Walk, Rocket Bunny, and dozens of legendary underground Japanese tuning houses. You can swap out individual engine components, adjust turbo spool pressures, and for the first time, heavily modify the interior of your car with aftermarket steering wheels and stripped-out racing seats. The paint booth remains as robust as ever, allowing the community to create and share incredibly complex liveries, meaning your replica of the iconic Fast and Furious fleet can be assembled within hours. But what good is a heavily modified Supra if it doesn't sound the part? Thankfully, the audio design team at Playground Games went back to the drawing board to deliver truly aggressive engine notes. The exhaust crackles, the distinct whistle of a massive single turbo spooling up, and the aggressive whine of straight-cut gears in a fully upgraded transmission all sound absolutely thunderous through a good pair of headphones. You can genuinely hear the difference between a naturally aspirated V8 and a high-revving rotary engine echoing off the narrow concrete walls of the Tokyo Expressway. Now, an open-world racing game is only as good as its social features, and Horizon 6 integrates its multiplayer components more seamlessly than ever before. The new underground parking garage car meets serve as interactive hubs where you can seamlessly walk your avatar around other players' vehicles, pop the hoods, and download their tuning setups on the fly. Matchmaking for co-op campaign races or competitive PvP sprints happens entirely in the background. There are no intrusive loading screens pulling you out of the open world immersion. The community events, particularly the massive 64-player Neon Street takeovers, provide some of the most beautifully chaotic, adrenaline-pumping moments I have ever experienced in a racing game. From a purely technical standpoint, this is a masterclass in optimization. Running on the Series X, the game maintains a rock-solid 60 frames per second in performance mode without sacrificing the breathtaking visual fidelity. The ray-traced reflections on the car bodies, the incredibly realistic global illumination piercing through the dense bamboo forests, and the sheer draw distance from the mountain peaks are a testament to this proprietary game engine. Even when the screen is filled with a dozen hypercars kicking up smoke and debris during a torrential rainstorm, the frame rate simply refuses to buckle, delivering a butter-smooth experience from start to finish. So, where does that leave us? Is Forza Horizon 6 the definitive arcade racing experience we've all been hoping for? In my book, it's a resounding yes. By stripping away the bloated progression mechanics of its immediate predecessor and replacing them with a highly structured, rewarding campaign, the game finds its soul once again. Japan provides the ultimate backdrop, a playground that seamlessly blends high-speed urban highway battles with technical mountain drifting, wrapped in a visually stunning, culturally authentic package. Whether you're a die-hard sim racer looking to let off some steam, or a casual fan who just wants to customize a Nissan Skyline and cruise through a neon-lit metropolis, this game is an absolute must-play. It's the love letter to Japanese car culture we've been waiting years for, and it officially sets a staggeringly high new benchmark for the entire open world racing genre. But before you go modifying your dream garage in Japan, you need to make sure your real world gear looks just as sleek. Massive shout out to today's sponsor, Thirion.vip. They make awesome high quality gaming apparel that feels as finely tuned and precise as a high end racing rig. Their gear is ridiculously comfortable, looking incredibly stylish whether you're out on the town or locked into a marathon session, drifting down a neon-soaked mountain pass. Check out their latest collection by hitting the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this trip through Japan, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more racing content, and let me know in the comments. Are you team Tokyo street racing or team mountain drifting? Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and stay gaming.